Hello, y'all. This is Greg, and this is It Worth It, y'all? And we have picked most of the peppers for the year. So I have chopped them up, and we're gonna dehydrate the ones that we have been freezing. These are all the ones that we've been freezing.
Oh, there's 3 layers.
So these are all, there's 1, 2, 3 trays of just poblano peppers. This is a mixture of ajichambas and habananas. Same with that, with some scattered cayenne peppers. There's a cayenne pepper here, half a cayenne on the bottom. So all together there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 trays that'll go into our Excalibur dehydrator. I'm gonna dehydrate them. And what we're gonna try to do is just make like a powder that it'd just be almost like a red pepper flake powder. So if we need it, just put in chili, soups, basically anything. It was just a way of preserving all the peppers that we got. And then we still have some fresh peppers there that I just picked yesterday morning, and there's still some on the vine. Like, I haven't hardly touched my Tabasco peppers yet. But we'll make some hot sauce, and then we have another bag of frozen. Like, this is what, all those have been frozen like this. And we're gonna turn this, and we'll show you this later, we're gonna turn this into a fermented hot sauce. So we kept the bag back for that.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag is habananas, ajichambas. There might be 1 or 2 Scotch bonnets and some stragglers. And then there are a couple Scotch bonnets in there, but these are mainly all the Scotch bonnets that I've picked this year. Not sure what we're gonna do with these. Probably make another hot sauce, and then use these in some type of barbecue sauces, or just not even barbecue sauce, just like a marinade sauce that we can use. Scotch bonnets are like 10 times hotter than a jalapeno. And I didn't know this, but I just found out by looking up about my Tabasco peppers. Tabasco pepper is actually hotter, 8 times hotter than a jalapeno when the Tabasco pepper is red. So it's just getting towards the end of our growing season. We've had temperatures in the 40s, so we've already pulled all of our tomatoes. I'm leaving the peppers go because I think they'll be fine, and we've gotten most of them off of there. I'm just letting my Tabascos go a little bit longer, and there's a few still out there of the ajichambas. But we're gonna get these in the dehydrator, and we'll show you that process. But we've got to walk this downstairs because we did everything out in the garage just to keep, in case we didn't want, I mean, look at our floor. Seeds and juice, so we didn't want to be spreading hot sauce around. We'll bring you back in a minute. Okay, here we are in the basement. This is our Excalibur dehydrator. Holds 10 trays, as I've said before. So now I'm just gonna start loading it. And the way you do this, if I only had 8 trays, I'd still put an empty tray in there, they say.
Where that one goes.
Right there. Now I'm just gonna get my book out. We're doing peppers. We're gonna do them for 4 to 8 hours at 125 degrees Fahrenheit. So this thing is really simple. Turn it on, choose your temperature, set my time. Oh, there we go. 4 hours, and then we'll check it at 4 hours and see if it needs more. And all you do is hit start. And she's going. We'll meet you back here in 4 hours and give you an update on what the peppers are looking like in the dehydrator. All right, folks, I'm back, and now we are going to ferment our hot sauce. We're gonna use these peppers. We have our other ingredients, water, a way start, salt, and this is the jar that we'll be fermenting in. And the recipe we're using Sandor Katz's The Art of Fermentation. So right now all we're gonna do is destem the peppers, and then we'll throw the peppers in here. We'll get some onions going and some garlic, and we'll put that all in that jar, and that's a fermentation jar. So we pack it all in there, put your wet ingredients, and then so when we're all done with this, after it's fermented for a month, we'll have fermented hot sauce that will last in the refrigerator for up to 6 months. Okay, so I got all my peppers destemmed. Now my next step is, before we just start throwing all ingredients in here, we have to get the weight of the peppers, garlic, and onions so that we can formulate how much brine of each ingredient of the brine is. So how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take the jar, set it on my scale, power it on, and then I'll tare it. Now I just start adding my ingredients. And so now I'm gonna put some garlic in there. You kind of wanna layer it so that all the flavors meld together. So I'll hold some garlic back. These are some of the onions we froze from last year. I'm just getting some of that water out of there. Apparently not enough. So I'd say that was about half the bag. Now I'll go back to my peppers. Add the remaining garlic. That garlic has been setting in olive oil for 1.5 years. Now we'll finish it off with the rest of the onions. So we have a weight of 903 grams is our weight. So now we'll have to look in the book and see what it calls for the water and salt ratio. Okay, so we figured out the ratio. It's gonna be 9 grams of salt to a 1/2 gallon of water. So what I'm gonna do is just re-tare. Then I'm just gonna add the salt. And I added a lot of salt because it just came plopping out. Okay, I'm at a 3.5% brine since I added a little bit too much salt, which is still in range. But you usually want it between closer to 2%. All right, so I'm gonna re-tare it and add our starter, whey starter. It just helps get the fermentation process started a little faster. This came off of our kefir cheese. And if you don't have it, it's okay. Like I said, this is just, we have it, and it just helps jumpstart the process. So now just half this jug. All right, so we're gonna use the distilled water, unchlorinated, filtered water. And you wanna cover all of the product that's in there because you need to keep it submerged so it doesn't mold or bacteria start growing. What I'm gonna do now is just use a chopstick, kind of like how we're canning to take the air bubbles out. But this is, you don't really have to take the air bubbles out, but this is gonna help mix that salt that we put in there. Now that caused the water to drop down, so I'm gonna add us some more water. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is put the top on it. This is called a water lock. So what it do, I'll pour water in here, put the water lock on there, burp it, and then once it burps the first time, on its own, as it's sitting there during the fermentation process, the gases will rise, And because it's just water holding this down, it'll burp itself and then relock itself into the water. All right, so I probably filled it up about 3/4 of the way over that lip. Now I'm just gonna set this down in there. There's a good burp. All right, so there you have it, folks. It's locked up. Now we're just gonna put it in a cool, dry place for a month. And as it goes, we'll keep an eye on it. You're gonna have to add water because it evaporate with the time. So you just wanna make sure that's there, that there's water in there so it burps itself. And okay, so now I'm gonna be very careful and bring this in and put it in its resting home for the next month. Chris has put us a towel down, so if it burps and spills over, we're not ruining the furniture. And this is where we keep these jars, because here's a bigger version of it. So it'll sit there for the next 30 days. We will check back with you in a month and show you how the process went. Okay, folks, it's the next day. We have dehydrated these for about 20 hours. This is what Chris pulled out about 6 hours ago. This is all the pieces I cut really flat. And what was left that she did another 4 hours on that took so long was the cayenne peppers that I just left whole. So they take quite a while. So what we're gonna do is get these cayenne peppers put in a container, and then we will start blitzing them up, and I'll bring it back for that. Okay, so we're back out in the garage. Here's our peppers. All nice and crispy. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put them in a food processor and blend them up and make a pepper powder out of them that we can use in recipes later on. So here we go. Just adding a little bit at a time, then I'll blend it more. Okay, so I got it all ground up in a food processor. This is the end result. I just mixed all the peppers together, the cayenne, Tabasco, Ajichamba, Habananas, and we'll just label it as a hot pepper mix. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna transfer it to a pint jar for better storage. It's almost like red pepper flake, but finer, because the cayenne peppers I did whole, so the seeds were still in there. I'm trying to get as much in here as I can. It's not that hot. So I had a little too much for a pint jar. So this little bit of excess, we're just gonna put in what we had our red pepper flakes in. And I'm sorry, folks, I keep putting the food processing bowl in your way. Oh yeah, that's got a little kick to it. Yeah. I'd say it's pretty much just like cayenne pepper. Taste a little bit, not as boldly spicy as a cayenne pepper, probably because the other peppers were in there. But there you have it, folks. From start to finish, all the peppers we picked this year, we froze them, dehydrated them, put them in a food processor to make a powder out of them, and we will seal this jar. We have an electric sealer that'll take the air out of this so it lasts longer. But there you have it. 10 trays of dehydrated peppers turned into a little over a pint of cayenne peppers.
Oh no. You hear it?
I heard it pop. All right, so tonight we are going to get rid of the last of our peppers. These are the peppers that we've been fermenting for over 30 days. And now comes the time to make hot sauce that will be shelf stable inside your cabinet. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove, and that's what she looks like. The first step that I'm gonna do is drain it all out. I got a colander set up with a bowl to catch the liquid. Got onion, garlic, peppers. It doesn't smell like overwhelmingly hot. So there you have it. There's our juice. So now I'm gonna get the food processor all set up. I'm just gonna start adding the peppers in here, pulse them, get them emulsified or whatever word that is. And then I'll start adding some of the liquid so that I get the consistency of the hot sauce that I want.
That was
not, I mean, like it's... Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. Greg just tasted the liquid. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, because it doesn't smell hot.
No, it snuck up on me. That's why I dabbed it like 5 times and then it just lit my butt up.
Okay, well, we're going to have to take the liquid gingerly then.
Yes. All right, that's just the peppers, garlic, and onions pureed into a paste. Now I'm gonna slowly add the liquid, the fermented liquid that was in that jar. Oh yeah, that's looking more. That's the consistency. All right, I got the consistency that I want. I added another 1/4 cup of the fermented juice. And then I put about 2 tablespoons of honey in there just to give it a little bit of a sweetness. And I was informed that if I added honey, it's not gonna change the shelf stable life, because honey is shelf stable itself. Because I had to be careful about adding like blueberries or something fruity, because then it would have to be refrigerated now, because that stuff wasn't fermented with it. So these bottles have all been sterilized, the caps. So now I'm going to...
Okay, I said 2 jars, but I'm obviously wrong. I'm glad you bought the big box of
Yes.
bottles.
Now I'm just gonna cap them off. And there you have it. Fermented hot sauce. Thanks for watching. That's the last of the peppers. If you like what you see, please hit the like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a good day.